Business owners, beware dependency. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. This is one of my favorite old coffee mugs. I got a coffee mug collection. I love coffee mugs. This is the Blues Brothers, if you don't recognize them. If you're not aware of who the Blues Brothers are, look it up, watch the movie. Classic. I'm an old John Belushi fan from going way back. It's funny, we ended up going this direction. I didn't plan on it. John Belushi, known for his crazy, wild acting skills and also his outrageous form of death. He died from a drug overdose with a prostitute and everything else on Sunset Boulevard, if I remember correctly. This isn't about John Belushi, but it is about dependency and a little something. The reason why I have this coffee mug is because I tried an experiment just recently. And it's one of those things where I don't have very many things left in my life that I'd consider myself addicted to. And I would scream up and down if anyone would pretend like I was addicted to coffee, because I can't be addicted to coffee because I've not drank coffee for large periods of time in the past. But I started looking back, and it had been over 10 years since I had probably gone a day without coffee. I mean, maybe a day here or there. I may have accidentally gone a day without if I was out of town or something like that. But in general, I've definitely replaced the caffeine somewhere along the line. But it's one of those things where caffeine, it's gotten to be a point where I drink it so often that I can have coffee right before going to bed and it doesn't affect me. So the caffeine itself, I think I'm beyond the point of addiction at the point to where it's a dependency thing, to where it's one of those things where it doesn't even affect me. It just makes me normal is to have coffee in the morning. And because we do it, me and my wife do it so religiously every morning. I'm the one that puts together the coffee. Since we do it so religiously, I never thought about it in a long time, thought about the fact that I might be dependent on it. So I tried a little experiment. I tried cutting it out. Okay. And I'll tell you why this has to do with being a business owner in a minute. Okay, you got to hang in there. I tried cutting it out, and I am on my second day of not only not having coffee, but not having caffeine, or at least any major caffeine source. I may have had something that had a little bit of chocolate in it, but no sugar. I cut out sugar a while ago. And I've had like really zero caffeine. The first day, I had a splitting headache, and my whole body ached. And it's funny because of all the different things I eat and just the way I live my life. I've gone a few years now without having any aching muscles unless I had a workout. I'd have aching muscles for like half a day or something. But other than that, my muscles never ache. I never creak. I feel pretty good. I feel pretty limber for my age. And one day without coffee, I mean, just the first morning without coffee, and I've got a headache for the rest of the day. I have aching muscles all over. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm kind of stuck on this stuff, aren't I? And so I'm on my second day now. Haven't had any major headaches. Muscles are a little bit achy, and I'm a little bit more tired than usual. Nothing I can't handle. It's not a major deal. But it shows that dependency is a very simple, subtle thing. And you don't really know it's there until you cut it out for a little while. I mean, just try it out. Just try. I'm not saying you need to cut out coffee. I'm not saying you need to cut out any dependency you have. I've known lots of people that have had nice long lives drinking a cup of coffee every day. I don't think it's the end of the world. It's just I heard somebody mention how they had cut out coffee. They're an entrepreneur. They had cut out coffee, and that had allowed them to be more focused. And that hit something because I've been battling focus for as long as I can remember. Oh, that's kind of funny. I've been drinking coffee for as long as I can remember too. So I was just curious, what happens if I cut out caffeine for about as long as I can? And just see, I mean, I can cut it out for the rest of my life if I needed to, but let's just see. If I cut it out for a week, more, maybe a month, let's just see what happens. What happens in my life? Does my brain function differently off of caffeine than on caffeine? Does it really make that huge of a difference? Or do I just have the genetic makeup that makes it not that big a deal? You know, and it's funny because your whole life revolves around certain things. Like I said, I've been drinking coffee since I was a little kid. Okay, my uncle and my grandparents started giving me coffee when I went to work on the ranch, probably around 10, 11 years old, something like that. And from that point on, it hasn't been religious, but it's been a friend. Coffee has always been a friend. So I've always had coffee mugs. I worked in a cafe, in a Barnes & Noble cafe, serving Starbucks coffee. So I know all the different drinks and how to make them. I like them. I like it. I like coffee of all types. I like espresso. I like drip coffee. I like it strong. I like it weak. I like it with cream. I like it black. No problem. So it's a real interesting thing how these things kind of creep into your life, or you just grow up around it and you never question it. Well, I just questioned it. I just said, what happens? What happens if this goes away for a while? Let's see what happens. So you join me along with that. I'll keep you updated on what that's about. But one thing I found about entrepreneurs, or any type of person that's a little bit more driven, that has a little bit more get up and go, we tend to have more hang-ups than other people, because it requires a certain amount of focus. I heard someone say, and I'll find the exact quote so that I can tell you exactly who said it, but I heard someone say something about how it's the main thing that differentiates success from non-success is the ability to focus. In other words, being able to set other sides and compartmentalize your life to where, okay, yeah, this chaos is going on here and this craziness is going on here, but those are over here and I'm focused right here, moving ahead with this. And there's a value to that, but it can get off balance because we tend to use substances or activities. You know, some guys like the ladies a bit too much and use sex or whatever as a substitute, as a little way to get the dopamine up so that we can keep doing what we love to do in business and do it and keep somewhat focused. But it only works in the short term. Eventually that stuff all runs out and you're left with all the damage that's left behind from being a dope head, a dopamine head, really, where you're stuck on feeding yourself good vibes, good chemicals into your brain artificially. So beware dependency. Watch out for it. It in the short run, it can be extremely valuable because it allows you to do what you want to do, but in the long run, you end up missing a whole lot of life, and you end up putting off a whole lot of pain and discomfort that really should be a certain part of life, and you really need to learn how to handle gracefully. So just a little tip from me, a little something that I've learned in my life, and I'm still learning. So, hey, we'll be back here tomorrow. Go check out brianjpombo.com for all the videos, audios, and everything else that is in the world of Brian J. Pombo. We've got the Amazon Proof Strategy session, which I encourage you to go check out. See if you and your business, if you think you would be able to profit off of paying for a little bit of time, sitting down with me and discussing your business and how you can decimate your competition. That's brianjpombo.com/Amazon. That link is in the description. We'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.